Welcome, my fellow Virgos, and happy birthday to those celebrating a birthday, either in late August or in September. I know my boyfriend is August 23rd. Many of you know that, and I know some of you share that date. So I must love you, right? And my birthday is the 13th, September. So, and I know a few of you share my birthday. So I must love you too. I love you all. By the way, this is for not just Virgo Sun, but Virgo Sun, Moon, and Rising. You could certainly have signs in the planet of Virgo. It's interesting. I just saw a post where it was saying, it didn't say what, but it was talking about the end of August, like a bunch of planets going to retrograde. I know Mercury's going to retrograde on Sam's birthday, the 23rd of August. So that's a ruling planet, so we want to prepare for that as much as we can. But clearly there's some other things going on. My daughter keeps thinking about learning astronomy, and I really wish she would, because I would use her on this channel. So anyways, this is also for those intuitively guided. Whatever brought you, welcome. I probably said 3 times already. I'm going to stop. Okay, so I decided, because it's your birthday, again, I know not everyone. Some of you may be here because you're in love with the Virgo, maybe platonically or romantically. And if that's the case, just know you'll get signs also, or you'll get messages. All right, but I decided to bring in the major arcanas and just really give us, like what's supposed to be our focus maybe this year. Like what's some of the things that, are going to be coming to light. It's interesting. I just opened my window and it was so peaceful and quiet, and now I'm hoping it's going to stay that way, but I hear a little noise. So anyways, we're going to bring those in. We're going to use Mother Mary, of course. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify, and I've had a lot of you reach out to me and say that you really like the Psychic Tarot. So I decided to bring it in for September. Yeah, September. I also like it for Gemini, which is interesting because both signs are ruled by Mercury. So, I don't know. So we'll use this for your main spread. But let's start with Mother Mary. And let's open up this reading. It's my birthday and I cry if I want to. You cry, how'd I go? You cry, you would cry too if it happened to you. No tears. No more tears. I think that's Aussie. No more tears. Alright, I'm going to stop singing. Though I have to tell you, I feel like, I've watched other readers where they would just start singing and I'd be like, as a Virgo, but it's interesting because when I do it, it's because something, I feel like I meant to. I feel like the song that I'm singing, even though I'm doing a horrible job at it, rings a bell with you. And I used to stop myself, but sometimes it just wants to come out. So I just let it. All right. 3 cards. Okay. Integrity. I trust my ability to know what is true for me. I trust my ability to know what is true for me. Integrity. Okay. Sobriety. It's funny, I'm like, sobriety. My clear mind is easily able to focus and concentrate. That is true. My clear mind is easily able to focus and concentrate. Maybe I don't make the best choices when I'm under the influence, and Maybe that's why, because I don't know why I'm seeing like integrity behind sobriety, almost like, like a warning, like, you know what we're talking about. It's some of the choices that you made. And those are free will. You know what I mean? Now, I know that's not everyone. And then we have nice present moment. I always love when this comes up because, first of all, it's how we're supposed to live in the present moment. Or not how we're supposed to live, but it's usually the best way to serve us, isn't, our signs are in the present moment. I am fully present in the here and now. It reminds me of temperance, or judgment, actually. Judgment, who's calling you to the present moment. And that just means they're sending you some signs because there's some type of rebirth. Say rebirth, it doesn't have to mean your whole life. Though I often feel like one area affects another area and that affects another area in a positive way. Alright, let's bring in the major arcanas. And I was just going to pull one, but I think what I'm going to do instead is just shuffle. But just do one shuffle. So whatever wants to come out. Come out now. Alright. Well, we got 4. Okay, I feel like I have to start over here. I have the Magician. And then the Hangman. They're almost like separate. Like 2 different messages. So the Magician and the Hangman. The Manifester and the, what do I want to call the Hangman? A pause in action. Right? This is non-movement. But the reason I'm in the Hangman position to start with is because I am seeking wisdom. Maybe there is some type of decision or some type of, what do I want to say, like some type of, I want to say blessing, but when I say blessing, I feel like some of you, like blessing can be many different ways, many different things. But I feel like it is because you earned it, though. And that's why sometimes when I call it a blessing, I do want you to know that I feel like at the same time it's like a reward. This is like our classroom and we're learning. It's like we're looking for that graduate degree. So anyways, the Hangman, the Manifester, it's almost like somebody knows, like, and maybe this was talking about what was, like, I had to put something on hold. Some type of creation, something that I want to bring, that I want to create. And it's on hold. Okay, let's see what the other side is. We have the Strength card. Interesting. First thing I'm thinking of, to be honest, is the Strength card to me is like our inner demons. It's like finding that balance between the demon and the angel within us. And then it brings me back to sobriety. And then 8 is about self, so maybe sobriety is a little bit more important than I really spoke about. So anyways, then there's a High Priestess, so that's your intuition. And maybe your intuition is just trying to point this out to you, like point out that you can find this type of balance. I can't eliminate, but I can balance. Right? I am made of light and dark, masculine, feminine, all of that, right? Polar opposites. And I have to learn to find that balance. And maybe, I don't know, again, I get this energy of like maybe I've been making some not so good decisions. Either my mind is in the past or it is clouded. But it doesn't have to be. That's what the High Priestess is saying. Especially the Magician and the High Priestess, Let's say this is, because we have present moment, let's say this is something that's new. And it's, so you'd start as the Fool, right? And the Fool's going along. Let me bring this lid down. The Fool's going along, and naturally the first person the Fool meets is the Magician. And let's just say everyone along the way is either a mentor, a teacher, a mirror, whatever it may be. But the Magician is teaching the Fool that you already, excuse me, you possess whatever it is that you need to be successful for this next journey, right? This next path, this next adventure, whatever it may be. Even if there's some bumps in the road, like you already possess, and I feel like sometimes it's inner wisdom. I feel like it's from our ancestors, you know what I mean? It's from generations and generations. It's from lives and lives. And the High Priestess knows that. And the Magician knows that. It's interesting because I feel like the Hangman and the Strength card is the human part of us. And the spiritual part of us is the Magician and the High Priestess. The students and the teachers. Could be talk about two people who are on two different paths, and each this is what's happening right now. Okay, well that just turned into a whole reading on its own, but we're going to remember all that, and I'm going to put them right over here. I'm going to put them. Yep, I don't want to cover the Hangman. All right, we'll put them like that. Excuse me. It's a Sunday evening, by the way. I'm telling you that because I feel that energy of like very relaxed within this reading, like you would on a Sunday. Alright, I'm curious to see what is the reading going to bring up if this is what we have already. We have the Sun, which is beautiful. And it's interesting because I shuffle your cards for a while before I ever do the reading. And I said to myself, I hope the Sun comes out. In the reading, like somewhere, I hope the Sun comes out. And I find it interesting, or maybe it's just confirmation that I really no longer need because I get it. But maybe for some of you, it's like this is... it's like my guides heard me, and the very first card that comes out is the Sun. It's called Light in this deck. It's a ruler of Leo. Look at this, an 8. 8's big number. Big number this month, August. Probably moving into September. Excuse me. Positive movement forward. I like that. With the Sun, it's almost like here comes a new journey, or here comes something new that's happening, and instead of having to like take your sailboat through, high waves and choppy water, the sailing is smooth here. It's like smooth, and this person, it's almost like the Sun is drawing this boat to them, to the Sun. Think about the olden days and how they used the sky as the map. Which direction do I go? Follow the Sun. Some of you may be thinking about moving to like a warmer climate. And I feel like the answer would be, well, I don't want to tell you what your answer is because you have to figure that out, but I feel like the energy's good for that. Maybe it's just saying make sure your mind is sober, and that can mean a million different things, by the way. You know, base your decisions on, well, it just looks like whatever's happening here is right. Look at this, the Ace of Cups. Love begins. Now, it can be a relationship. It could just be a love of your life now. You know, not the love of, well, maybe the love of your life, but also a love for your life. It's like something's changing, right? There's some type of new beginning in this age, and this energy is moving you towards the sun. And by the way, the sun means that everything's going to be illuminated to you. Like you're not heading towards shadows. You probably already worked those out, right? There's probably no more cobwebs left in your closet. I feel many of you have been through a lot and have overcome a lot. You know, you all have your stories to tell, and I know that, and I love hearing them, by the way. 8 and the 1, 9, 19, I don't know. Well, there you go, 9. Dang it. Not the 9 I wanted to see. But, alright, with the Tower. You know, I feel like for some of you, this is not so much about, well, potentially, it could be about, you know, falling in love with someone, but at the same time being, like, scared out of my mind. And it's telling us why. It's based on, you know, previous towers. However, the sun's right over the tower. So I feel like, again, whatever happened in that tower, whatever disruption it was, whatever got you into that sailboat and started, you know, you started sailing to the sun, you know, there's complete illumination over that. There's wisdom, there's truth, and once you have it, you have it. You know what I mean? Even to yourself. Like, I can't deny that, I can't, you know, like, the truth is truth. And I can't allow myself to deny that. Because I know that I'm denying it. And that's probably what the 9 of Swords is about. You know, I do have to say, there's something about this Ace of Cups where it says love begins, but it's just the energy I'm feeling from this cup. This cup, it's almost very healing to this 9 of Swords energy. And maybe it's just as it's meant to be. You know, maybe I'm going along doing my thing, and I am following the sun. Doesn't guarantee you that, you know, let's say somebody, you know, you bump past with someone along the way. It doesn't guarantee you that, like, no fear is going to arise. Maybe that's why it's saying keep a sober mind. But this 9 of Swords really talks about unnecessary worry. You know, it is worry. And we can tell ourselves that all this worry is true. But the truth of the matter is, you know, first of all, we may be like, this could be someone completely different. But yet, we're going to base this love off of this tower that's already happened. That may be another reason why we have present moment. Might be another reason why the Magician is telling the Hangman, hang on there. Slow down, you move too fast. Alright, let's keep going. Well, I like that. Spiritual strength. You know, I love the image on this card also, because it's like your spiritual guides are holding this roof up. You know, it's almost like you're going through the cave. Maybe it's like, you know, what was you would call the dark night of the soul. You know, difficult time. And maybe had no choice but to keep on moving. But, you know, at the same time, I feel like this is the ability to, again, it's about understanding. And it becoming, you know, I feel like it's almost like someone's saying, I'm not afraid to face my demons anymore because I have power over them. I have power over my demons. And so I'm not afraid to go into that dark, especially with the sun right here as the first card. Some of you, you literally went into the dark, and I want you to picture that in your mind, you went in, into the cave. But you were seeking in that energy spiritual strength. These towers can knock us off our feet. And, but at the same time, it can be, it's almost like if we can't look back and be like, I regret everything I've done, because, it's about celebrating the person you are today. And you couldn't be that person unless you've had these experiences. With 2 9s, some of you have been in an old chapter. You've been in a reflection state. And might be time to open the door to something else. Alright, let's keep going. Recognition and reward. I feel like I talked about that in the beginning of the reading. Coming under the Ace of Cups, by the way. Look at this person. They just look so humble. You know what I mean? Almost like they're receiving an award for the work that they have done. And the work, or maybe even going through this dark night of the soul has humbled me. I like that it talks about recognition. It's almost like if it's talking about love, to me it feels like it has to be a soulmate, because I feel like it would be their soul, your soul that they recognize, and versus, and you them. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean you just feel it. We have the Ace of Swords. Interesting. It's almost like someone's being knighted. It's like the sword is knighting someone. I don't know what happened in the tower, but I feel like I can kind of feel how hard it was. And I feel like for some of you, it's almost like, let me tell you exactly what I'm thinking. I feel like someone may have, just stopped communicating with me, just cut tie, just boom. Again, out of my control. And I feel like it could have just, or it just didn't work out. Something seemed to end. And maybe it wasn't something that you were expecting or that you even wanted, but I'm thinking subconsciously maybe you did. But nonetheless, I feel like, because I feel like somebody did something to you that, having this 9 of Swords, it's not a joke, right? It's unnecessary worry. Oh, okay, thank you, Sandy. That worry is there, right? We do have to, this takes time to teach ourselves that just because we think something doesn't make it true, right? We have to teach ourselves how to, reflect back on these towers, ask for the illumination over them so that we can grow from them, because that's what's happening here. Spiritual strength, you're growing from it. It's like you are the spirit warrior. 9 of Swords, and the other side of it, it's like I'm giving into, not moving on from that energy. And I feel like that's what I'm talking about. If somebody has you, like stuck. I guess ask yourself, do you want to be stuck? If you do, stay stuck. But you know what I mean? And I guess, I don't know. Let's keep going. Look at that. 2 cups. I knew it was a soulmate. You know, it's funny because it's almost like whatever I like, if I think, I feel like the 2 cups is going to come out, I'll be damned if the 2 cups doesn't come out. And it's something I've only taken notice of, like, within, let's say, the last 6 months. Like, I'll think of a card and boom, that card will come out. Like, you know, like in a prominent position. So interesting. 2 cups with Tower in between the Sun. So, it is like the light and the dark. Patience. This is Temperance. Card of Sagittarius, by the way. I was going to say first major arcana, but no, this is actually the 3rd. This is about divine timing. You know, and I feel like, first of all, even if this is somebody who was before, I want you to understand one thing. Like, and I really want you to understand, like, never would I say, or would my guide say, or make me say, like, you know, to consider taking a narcissist or an abuser back. Never, ever, ever, ever. Now, people are human, and I mean that as in people can mess up. But I feel like, you know, if they're a narcissist, well, I can't say it now, or an abuser, you know, I don't know that changes. So, like, don't think that you're here to fix anyone. You're not. And I don't know why I'm saying that. 2 cups next to Temperance. Interesting, because the Magician is next to the Hangman. Temperance is kind of the controller of time, so to speak. Right? All in its divine timing. You know, you'll hear me say often that I feel Temperance's job is really to feel the cup of both the soulmates equally. Right? She's got to wait until they're in balance. So, I feel 2 things here. You know, could this potentially be a contact from the past with someone who potentially gave you that Tower? It could be. Is that a good thing? I feel like you'll have to determine that. But if you're in the 9 of Swords, like, don't pick up that phone, because you know, it's like your energy won't be able to handle at that, you know, almost like I'll be talked into something. But if you're in the 8 of Wands type energy, where, you know, you're forward thinking and, you know, you've really grown from the situation, you know that's different. You know what I mean? And yes, I do think people other than ourselves can grow. So I do feel like a lot of times there's past people from the past coming back. We're coming back, you know, we're meeting again. But I do feel like for some of you, this is new. And if the fear raises its ugly head, it is because of the past. It's funny, I have a feeling that someone's going to have like a soothing voice. Like there's something about their voice. Maybe it's healing to you. Interesting. Alright, let's keep going. Your reading is going to be long. Alright, well, here's the next chapter. Here we go. Here we go. Awareness. Wow. And then, hello, memories of love with that. You know, this can be a multitude of things, because, you know, memories of love. First of all, this is soulmate type energy. So, you know, like your souls know each other. And that means that you've had many more experiences together than this lifetime. You know what I mean? It does feel deep, though. All of a sudden, I feel like this is deep. This is deep. I like that. Awareness. Whoa, there's the word, awareness. Right next to the world. By the way, what's mirroring the world? Love begins. Rest and rejuvenation. There's your hermit. That's what was been happening, or that's what's been happening in the hermit's energy. You're rejuvenating. You're overcoming, you're healing. You know, that's the Four Swords, and that is allowing the healing of the heart and the mind and the soul. And it's also the Fourth Sword is of myself. You know, my own actions. When you're like, do I allow myself or do I allow my thoughts to control like how my life is ran based out of the past? Not that you can't trust your thoughts, but you gotta know. You gotta know the difference. You gotta know when to hold 'em. You gotta know when to fold 'em. You gotta know when to walk away. You gotta know when to stay. I was just thinking, if I hum a song too long, I wonder if they'll make me pay like a royalty on it. Alright. We have justice. Some of you, I mean, this is clearly the cutting of certain ties. It can be a divorce. It can be a karmic. You know, whatever it is, it's coming over the sun. Let's let that bite go by. So it's illuminating it, right? But justice, you know, we don't always want to look at like, you know, okay, it's the cutting of the ties, even though a lot of times it is. It's also about making you whole again. And you know, and when we're going through it, I don't know why I can't talk tonight. I don't think we realize it. Sometimes it's when we start to put our foot forward, we start to be like, oh. Card Libra, by the way. Libra and Leo right there. We have the Queen of Swords. Can be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Sitting right next to Libra. Interesting. We have the Five of Swords coming over the Ace of Cups. Interesting. We have the Empress coming over the Nine of Swords. It's almost like your higher self, boom, like, is here. Like, no more. Mother figure. And then we have the Six of Pentacles over the Tower. I feel like for some of you, very quickly, it's showing me that there's a lesson. And one of the lessons, and it may be a karmic lesson, one was a lesson of give and take. And I feel like, because I feel like some of you are kind of hung up, waiting. And man, I know as a Virgo, we don't like that. It can drive us freaking crazy. I know that. So anyways, I feel like that's what we're being, like, that's what's being awoken in us. That's where the awareness is coming in, right? Am I a giver? Am I a receiver? Am I equal? Or does it seem like I'm always the giver? Whatever it may be. But the Six of Pentacles is also like a generous type energy. I often feel like a generous type soul. Like maybe I found myself trying to help an underdog, and I'll be damned, I think maybe that person is just an underdog, and maybe that's just what they're here for, right? Sometimes I feel like certain people are just here and they're meant to live in the dark. We can't change that. Maybe that's the life they chose, or was chosen for them. Okay, let's keep going though. Excuse me. It's interesting we have the Five of Swords over the Ace of Cups though, because the Five of Swords really talks about the toxicity, right? And the Five is like change. That's what a 5 is about, like changing gracefully. But I have to know, like, where is the toxicity? Where is it coming from? Like, it's just, again, like the Strength card, talking to my demons, like, what door did you come through? I want to know, so I can then shut that door and shut it for good. Because I'm not worried about this Five of Swords being here, because the Empress is right next to that. And the Empress may be saying to you, if you find that you're in a state of worry, like, instead, see if you can, like, have a different perspective and see how you've grown, and see where you need to grow, right? Like, we always want to be honest with ourselves. But also, the Empress is so creative, and it's almost like she has a creative block. We have the Devil, card of Capricorn, coming over spiritual strength. Almost like, sorry Capricorn, but I almost feel like, just because the Sun is right there, and I feel like your spiritual team is like very involved in this spiritual strength. I feel like it is talking about, and the Strength card, like, right, those inner demons, the light, the dark. Well, hello, Ten of Cups. Queen of Wands. Can be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but it doesn't have to be. She's the Queen of Action. Two of Pentacles over the Two of Cups. Interesting. And the Nine of Pentacles. It's almost like Temperance is saying, it's like you got a job to do. And your job was to build something and create something. Your job was to find this like independent nature within yourself, and you probably had to go through hell to get there. But I do feel like you get there. And if you're not there yet, I feel like you're on your way. If you have faith in yourself. This Nine of Pentacles, this is really an independent, successful type energy, and some of you, it's attached to your spirituality. It just is. Maybe also because it's mirroring the Queen of Swords, attached to your voice. So it's interesting because it's almost like, we have the Ace of Cups here, right? It doesn't mean that we automatically say yes to that Ace of Cups. Maybe we say no. Maybe it's not quite time. Maybe there's something that you're creating that is just as important. Whatever it may be, Temperance is like, it's almost like you can let go of control and just follow your flow. Follow where you feel guided. Maybe that's why the Queen of Wands is here. Like, really, that's what she does. She just follows, what inspires her. And, the memories of love is right below her. And it's interesting because I'm looking at the Empress above her, and it's almost like the Empress is saying, all right, this situation calls for the Queen of Wands within me to step forward. This situation calls for the Queen of Swords to step forward within me. Again, knowing that you possess all of them. So we have the Ten of Cups. Over recognition and reward. Whoa. Why'd you have to come out like that? Alright. See what we have with the Chariot. I like that. Card of Cancer, first of all. It's movement. Give me movement out of this independent lifestyle. And maybe it's moving you into the Ten of Cups type of energy. Now, do I think it's an overnight type of thing? No. I feel like, it's almost like I had to go through hell to get to heaven. Six of Swords. Well, there you go. That, it's almost like, okay, now, maybe like something like, someone comes in or I don't know. I feel like something stirs your soul. But I feel like at that time, it's almost like an inconvenient time for some reason. Or another way of putting it is like it's something that like I'm closed off to. But I feel like eventually you'll find your way, because I feel like the Five of Swords and the Six of Swords, they're mirroring each other. And the Six of Swords is attached to the Chariot. Hello. I can fly in that energy. We have the Four of Cups. Excuse me. We have the Three Swords. And then look at this. Interesting. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. First of all, I get this feeling as you travel along. Let's say you're starting on this new path. I see you like as a pioneer. And like you're on your horse and buggy, or you're on your horse. Maybe you're on your boat. And I feel like if any danger, let's just say, comes toward you, bam, I feel like here is your guardian angel. And I feel like your guardian angel will come in and clear that energy away. So it feels like, I don't know, protection. Like, Archangel Michael. The Knight of Pentacles does talk about patience also. And it's about right timing. And nobody can really determine when the right time is except for you, right? Because I feel like it's showing us right here, right? The difference between the Five of Swords and then the Six of Swords. That's where the movement's at. And it's almost like the Chariot is your spiritual energy. By the way, the Chariot is the representation of 2023. For some of you, they could be talking about this year. But nonetheless, I feel like, the Knight of Pentacles is bringing something into your physical world. And it's like you're just, boom, it's like you're coming on, like it'll just be there. And it is meant to expand your world. So, I feel for some of you, it's soulmates. And in the same breath, I get this energy like that you are being watched over, like you're being not just watched over, but I feel like as you go on this adventure, I almost feel like, like anything that is of a negative nature will just be automatically washed away. It's like the sea parting open for you. So I feel like, okay, wow, I can let that go. Like I can just let it go. I can just let it go and enjoy the adventure, see where it takes me. A Chariot is unlimited. By the way, the Chariot's sitting right next to the Nine of Pentacles, which is successful self-employment. I feel like a lot of Virgos work for themselves. And I always love seeing that success for you. It's interesting because for some of you, it could be that you feel very independent, right? But nonetheless, here is the Two of Cups. But then you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, the Juggler's card. You could say that. Your logical mind. Is it going to enhance my mind? It's being brought in by the Knight of Pentacles. So, they call the Knight of Pentacles the most trusted knight in the tarot. I don't know. I feel like we can trust them all. I feel like if they say they're coming in, they're coming in. Excuse me. Again, the Knight of Pentacles is just in the right time. In the right time. So, again, I feel maybe that's why in the beginning it was separated. It's like, this is not just about love. I feel like there's, sometimes we think that, like, that's all there is. But there's also, I feel like, this very creative part of you. This very independent part of you that is just as important. It really is. It's just as important. And it doesn't mean you're doing something for the world. If you are, good. But it doesn't matter, right? You should be helping one person, right? What you do. And listen, I often feel like a lot of what we do, it's based on our own experiences. So, I'd rather someone who has been there give me advice than someone who, it's like I remember when I first started in fitness and nutrition and spas and that. I started as a salesperson, and I was good, but I believed in it. I was completely honest, and I 100% believed in it, and I was doing great. And I remember the owner came in one time, and she brings me like pom-poms and is trying to give me advice. And I'm open to advice, but she's trying to give me advice of how to do better consultation. And let me tell you, I had my consultation down. Like, just leave me be. Let me do my job. You know what I mean? But I told her, I said, there's no woman that comes in here that if I pulled out pom-poms is not going to think I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that just ruins all my credit, my integrity. And, but she insisted, so I just pretended like I did. She went on her way, and I just did my own thing. Okay, that was a long story. Sorry about that. But maybe some of you needed to hear that. Okay, before I let this go, I know this is long, guys. I want to look at the Ten of Cups. Because it does have the Ace of Cups right below it. Four of Swords, look at that, healing. It's healing of everything. Present, past. All of a sudden I hear kids. Healing. From a 5 to a 4. Of the Ace of Cups. That makes perfect sense with the Empress right there, because the Empress sitting next to the 5 of Swords, it just doesn't make sense. Because, and especially with the Sun being the first card, and coming over the 9 of Swords, she would 100% get this energy and be like, I know what I'm doing here. So I like that it goes from a 5 to the 4. To me, it feels, again, soothing. I feel like there's something soothing. There's someone's voice or something that the soothing part of it helps heal you. All right. Let's just go right across the middle. I don't know why I just don't end it. I'm like already saying it's too long. Well, hello, Ten of Pentacles. I often say in a reading, like, yes, I love seeing the Ten of Cups, right? It's it's a house full of love and laughter and joy. Doesn't mean there's not issues, but, this is about harmony. And the Ten of Pentacles, this is what I want to see, right? This is a house of abundance, and I don't mean it as in rich. I just mean we have all that we need, and can also be, energy that takes root. I often feel like what's being created in this house is what is remembered generation after generation. I don't know why I cannot talk. By the way, look at that. I just put it down by the 10 of Cups. Alright, I think I'm going to leave that be. And I think I'm going to read present moment, because that seems the most important. Integrity, I think you get that, right? I trust my ability to know what is true for me. Sobriety, I know you guys get that. My clear and sober mind is easily able to focus and concentrate. Present moment, I feel like, is the most important thing, especially with the sun right here. So let's read that. And then I will let you be. Alright. You received this card as a gentle reminder to keep your focus upon this present moment, right now. Have you been reliving old memories, rehashing ancient wounds, or projecting yourself into the future? If so, you're missing out on life, which occurs in the here and now. Mother Mary guides you to enjoy the present, no matter what's going on. As you learn to extract the joy and blessings hidden within every experience, you'll feel continuously fulfilled in the moment. Okay. I feel like for some of you, you need more persuasion than that. But alright, I'm going to let that be, guys. Again, happy birthday to those celebrating. I can't believe how old I'm getting. Like, it's crazy. You know, but it's a blessing. But at the same time, it's like, wow, where does the time go? But again, happy birthday. Thank you for the million things you do for me. Thank you for your donations and keeping this channel alive. I couldn't do it without you. Your messages, your comments, I feel like they mean everything. I really do. I feel like, you know, most people don't know you anyway. You know what I mean? So anyways, because I feel like you just never know who you're going to help. And I see it all the time. You know, where it's like unexpectedly somebody's like, oh. Or somebody tries to help someone who's going through something. So, you know, I love the love. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I will see you guys next time at our table. Bye-bye.